this is Homey Hobbies, and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today we are unboxing the April Illumicrate box. Now, for those of you who haven't watched these videos before, Illumicrate is a book subscription box where you get a book and, depending on the subscription level, items with the book that are either related to the book or related to the genre of the book. Now, this box that we're opening up here is their fantasy box. We have been opening up a few other Illumicrate boxes on our channel, mostly the Afterlight boxes, which are the romance boxes. They also have one for horror, but I don't read horror, and my friends don't get that subscription box, so we don't open that one. But yeah, so this is the Illumicrate box, and I'm quite interested to see what we get here. I've heard some spoilers about this box from my friends. They specifically did not want to receive this month's box simply because they heard some things about the plot that are a little controversial. Alright, so our theme for the month of April is magic versus science. And you can see here we have two pillars and some fabric. And here on the inside we have a description of our items. But we'll skip that because we don't want any spoilers. Now, our first item here is this metal box. I like the contrast between the silver and the black. And it says, "I wish for you to not go anywhere without me. In this world and the next, I wish for you to choose me." And here at the bottom we have a lotus flower, and at the top what seems to be a phoenix. And a lotus flower on the back, and a moon, and it seems like some stars as well. Now this looks like a pencil case. I am not in need of a pencil case, but it is quite cute. There you can see the stars a little more easily. And as you can see, it's quite thin. Oh, there's a scratch on the inside. If you've seen my previous videos, you know how I feel about markings on the boxes and everything. I used to work at a place where we boxed items together, and so we always had to do a quality check, and I get surprised sometimes when I see what gets through here. The next item we have here are some gloves. Just from the first look, I can tell that they are gardening gloves. I am not excited for that sticky texture that I know they're gonna have. And you can see I'm really struggling here with this. The gloves are actually pretty stuck to the bag itself. Not sure how they even got these into the bag. But as you can see, I'm struggling, and I end up ripping it, so I just decide to rip the entire bag off. But as you can see, these gloves are green and it has some plants on it. The sticky side, the side that touches the plants themselves, is a lighter green because of the coating. They're not the prettiest gloves, but I do know of someone who might want them. As you can see here, there's like a little dot, and I'm just checking to make sure that it's not a hole. No, it's not. Wow, the inside is actually quite incredibly smooth and comfortable. I'm quite surprised. But yeah, those were the gardening gloves. And next up here, we have some sort of rounds. Oh, I know what exactly these are. These are going to be reusable makeup remover cottons. Now, I'm a little upset because I actually just bought some at my local Aldi, but these are cute. These are very cute. Here on this red one, we have some moths and flowers. And on this blue one here, we have just what seems to be some tarot cards and flowers. So I don't know if I'll end up using these. These I feel like are a little too pretty to use. Maybe I'll use them as coasters. Alrighty, so this next item I'm excited for. This is a puzzle. And it says, is the science fiction bookcase. So exciting. I love puzzles. Here we can see there are different books, and we have a butterfly mask, a crown and some earrings, and some plants, a note, some flowers. I'm assuming some of those were references to books. I do not know which ones. And then here on the back we have a sickle with a star, a kind of maze, a griffin, looks like a tail of a pigeon, a old-time western horse-drawn cart, the rise and fall of Sanctuary Moon, a something scope, micro SD card, and more books. And here on the inside we have our puzzle. It is a 1,000-piece puzzle, and also the image that we are trying to build. And you can see that it's the exact same picture that is on the front and back of the box itself. But yeah, that was our last item, and now on to our book. So our book this month is To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X. Chang. Alrighty, and now I'm going to go ahead and take the plastic off. And here we are with our cover again, To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods. And here we can see a young woman in a flowy dress and holding some sort of sword. On the side we have the same image. And on the back something similar. With hauntingly poetic prose, Molly X. Chang spins a tale at the intersection of science fiction, fantasy, and the very real devastation that colonialism brings down on colonized people. This review was written by Siren J. Zhao, author of The Iron Widow. And here on the side of the pages we have another pillar, but this one is in red, which is quite interesting. Now on the inside we have our first piece of artwork, and it seems to be our main character in a red flowy dress that turns into a pool with hands sticking out of it. Love it. Magic. And there are some fans as well. Now if we go to read our synopsis. She has power over death. He has power over her. When two enemies strike a dangerous bargain, will they end a war or ignite one? Heroes die, cowards live. For as long as Yang Ruying has been alive, the empire of Erlang has been occupied by Romans who mercilessly defeated the magic of her people. Now the invaders' advanced science, technology, and military make them gods. Ruying is special, having been blessed by death and born with the ability to pull life out of mortal bodies. When Antony, the second prince of Rome, uncovers Ruying's power, he offers her an impossible deal. If she becomes his private assassin and eliminates his political rivals, her family will be protected. Can Ruying trust this prince, whose promises of a better world makes her heart ache, and whose smiles make her pulse beat faster? Are the evils of their agreement really in the service of a much greater good? Or will she betray her entire nation to guard those who she loves the most? So you might be able to catch on why this book is a little iffy. It's giving very much colonized person falls for colonizer and like romanticizing that. I'm not really a big fan. It feels a little bit icky. Now, if it stops a war, I'm down. But also it's giving like, I can't say that on YouTube. It's giving like woman can solve man and make man a better person through love trope, which I don't really like. But here on the back we have artwork of what seems to be our main male character, the Roman, and our author's note. Now this is Molly X. Chang. Molly is a first-generation immigrant born in Harbin, China, currently living in the UK. To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods is her debut novel. Her Twitter and Instagram are Molly X. Chang. The jacket's designed by Regina Flath, jacket illustration by Sija Hong, hardcover illustration by Alyssa Winans, and paper illustrations by Hoang Lap, and author photograph by Katrina Wong. And here we can find our author's note. I remember my grandfather's tears, the way his voice cracked when he whispered of the ghosts who haunted Manchuria, the demons who stole misbehaving children from their beds to conduct monstrous experiments on. All my life, I thought these stories were mere folklore, passed from lips to lips, fiction, made up to scare me into doing my homework. It wasn't until 2020, after my grandfather had sadly passed and I was homesick for China, my chest raw from the grief and sorrow of watching anti-Asian hate run rampant in the land I left home for, did I realize these stories were so much more than what I originally thought. In my desperation to cling to my grandparents and a home, I stumbled across articles of Unit 731, a place that existed in Harbin during World War II, just 20 minutes from where I grew up. I realized those ghost stories that haunted my childhood were never just stories. They were memories rooted in reality. They were a piece of history forgotten by too many. So while to gaze upon wicked gods is fictional, its inspirations were very much real. Everything from the abhorrent experiments to the men who tried to play gods. The horrifying true stories of Manchuria under Russian and Japanese occupation deserve to be retold and remembered. What happened to the people of Manchuria and the people of China left trauma so harrowing its survivors could not retell it as history. This was why my Manchurian grandfather and his people wove it into horror stories with sinister traces of the paranormal, ghosts, and demons. These memories of the past became folklore, passed down from parent to child, as the Japanese denied the existence of Unit 731, denied the Manchurian blood we lost, denied the pain and trauma suffered by generation after generation, interlocked by tears. My grandfather's stories were seeds, and I hope if he were alive today, he'd be proud of the tree that sprouted from those seeds. Stories of tribes and empires, of our people's pain and suffering, of the Siberian wilderness, and of the ancestors who had survived genocide after genocide. How lucky I was to be of Manchurian blood, to have grown up on Manchurian land. He said if our ancestors could survive the Siberian ice, we could survive anything. I hope if he could meet Ruiying, my main character, he'd be proud of our ferocious need to survive. Just like our ancestors who grew up in a time where no one was safe, where people would do anything to survive. Hunger and poverty, the love of family, that feeling of powerlessness as everything precious to our culture, our people, was stripped away, piece by piece, because China fought our Western invaders' bullets and planes with bows and arrows. But what if we had more? My grandfather interwove history with demons. I choose to repaint his stories with hope, because what if the magic of our ancient stories about gods and heroes were true? What if we had that magic to fight their science? What if? To gaze upon wicked gods, at its heart, is about many things. It's about the forgotten histories of China's century of humiliation, the hard choices one has to make in order to survive a merciless world. It's about an Asian girl who is taught to be quiet but longs to be loud. But at its heart, it's a story about immigration and its sacrifices, crossing oceans and worlds, enduring hardships and uncertainty to give those you love a better life. Dear reader, I hope you love this book as much as I do. I hope you read Ruiying's story and see her not as a villain, but as a girl who loves her family, as a victim of the brutal world she was born into, doing everything in her power to protect those she loves, even if it means forfeiting her morals and working for the enemy, doing unforgivable things as long as she can protect her family. Okay, I love that there is an actual historical note behind it and meaning to it. I don't know how I feel still about this being a love story, potentially, but we can see. And here we have our autograph page. And here I am just checking the back, making sure I'm not missing anything. A page about the type that the book is in, and finally now this is actually super pretty. Here you can see we have what appears to be some Chinese characters, a old-fashioned Chinese styled building, a bridge, and a river. Here we have some sort of pole or statue, and I guess the Roman side, or Roman buildings. Alrighty, so that was our book, To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods. We also had our puzzle, our pencil tin, our makeup removing cloths, and lastly, our gardening gloves. And now let's go over our pamphlet. Alright, so our first item was the science fiction bookcase puzzle, artwork by Olivia Gibbs at Olivia Gibbs Illustrations, designed by Jane Tibbetts at Chatty Nora. It looks like we have some Easter eggs of our favorite sci-fi books. Now, the second item here is the Choose Me bookmark tin. Oh, it's for bookmarks. I see. This is designed by Adrienne Breston at _studio_AO. And this was inspired by Song of Silver, Flame Like Night. This I might keep if it's a bookmark tin. The next item was Moths and Poppies reusable wash pads, designed by Carly Watts at Carly Watts Art, and is featuring artwork inspired by the bone season. And lastly, our botanical consolation gardening gloves, designed by Christina Panebianco at White Bread Pattern, inspired by the surviving sky. Now here on the other side, we have our synopsis again and our photo challenge dates. I meant to do this for last month. I completely forgot. I had everything ready and forgot to post it. And here on the back, we have our hints for May's theme, which is magical bonds. No matter how they are forged, the bonds between us are magical. The May book is an adult fantasy standalone. When a goddess earns the ire of a powerful sage, she is cursed to become mortal. She makes a new life for herself, but when she breaks her curse, she's forced to leave her son behind. She, I guess, is looking for her son with war looming on the horizon. And yeah, now, as always, the Illumicrate exclusive edition is a royal hardback, has an exclusive cover, foil embossing, and is digitally signed by the author. Fandoms this month include Fourth Wing, Hurricane Wars, Realm of the Elderlings, and Feybound. And it looks like the May boxes will have a mug by Rosie Thorne 88 with artwork inspired by Fourth Wing, which I haven't read yet. I do like me a good mug. And that was our April box. Let me know what you think of what we got. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a good rest of your week. Bye!